Alright, thanks for checking out the Zacharias P. Lebish Art and Adventure channel. Here's the official camper build video, part 2. So check it out. Thanks a lot. If you have not already seen part 1 of 2, I suggest watching that first, being this build is moderately difficult. I've added these 1x2s and these corner pieces, and what that does is it gives me something to screw down into, because the insulation is here and there'll be another sheet that goes over everything. And when I'm driving down the road, the air wants to come up through these holes, which is okay because everything will be screwed and sandwiched together with these. Putting all these on the top. And the reason for those is that I want to be able to, in the future, if I would need to strap something to the roof on top of this, I'd like something that's going to be strong and not rip off. Alright, so I've got this thing on its side here, and I'm about to do some screen on the sides, each side one at a time. I've got screen overlapping. I'm trying to get a little overlap of the bottom to the side. Once I start applying the primer here, it'll hold the screen, and the weight of the screen will pull it flat. And then I'll go ahead and trim it to size on the top. That way at least it overlaps the seam between the lath and the side. It's arduous, but it works. So here I can fold this underneath and maybe even follow this right here. That's a start. And then I can use some clamps to hold this screen in place while I paint. So here I have all these little clamps in place. Alright, so I took all the clamps off. Try to cut shapes that the mesh fabric kind of likes. I'll probably trim this a little bit more and overlap it over, and then put the final piece on here. Alright, this process isn't really fun, but it does have to be done. And they do lay down, but they'll fight you a little bit. And then I'll take some duct tape and help that process out by putting a little bit of extra pressure on some of that. Helps it lay down a little bit better. And here we have all the tape on there. And we'll pull that off when the primer dries. Looks good. I'm happy. All 4 corners are done. I'll be doing these today. Alright, there we go. I got the front and back top pieces on there. Getting really close here to the final touches. I'll be oil-based painting the top. It'll be more of a grass, kind of a dead grass color. And then the bottom's got this green color. So here we go, almost there. It's paint day. We're going to put the final coat on here. It's a little bit cold and humid. It's about 90% humidity. But I need to carry on and get this done, so. The camper has 2 walls that are triangular between the 2 main rectangular walls. One wall has a small window with a hatch, and the other one has a tarp insulated flap that folds open, and there's a screen. But right here I'm adding the insulated long wall with the main entrance hatch and cutting the foam out. Here I'm creating a backing for this insulation panel to pop into. Everything is the same thickness, 3/4 inch, so it sits flush. Here I'm using a combination of reflectix material and foam attached with Gorilla Tape, and the outside will be coated with screen door screen and exterior acrylic wall paint. Here I'm applying the acrylic paint to the outside over the screen and then caulking between the frame and the foam panels, and they'll be framed around the edges and a hatch in the middle. Clamps holding everything in place as I screw everything together. And this is the final triangular wall, which has one piece of screen sandwiched in between pieces of lath that are cut to fit and screwed together. Everything is painted first and it's re-put together with the screen sandwiched in between with caulking. And it will have a flap that's insulated that folds open to create a cross breeze when it gets hot. Trimming the tarp with an extra 1.5 inches all the way around. And then I go with the inside of the tarp facing up and I trace out the reflectix to fit, and then I tape it to the inside of the tarp using the same tape as before. And then I'll wrap that tape around the edges. Make sure everything's straight. I don't want any moisture in between the tarp and the reflectix. Making sure I've chosen the correct side, I tape the tarp and reflectix to the triangular wall, making sure it opens correctly. This lip here protects the water from going in this gap, which is sealed super well. And then this side is really tight. And you pull it with that tab. It's about right here on the inside. It's right here. Pull that, push this forward, and it seals this whole side airtight. Here I am testing out the brake lights. The camper's strapped down and ready for a 2,000-mile camping trip. I wanted to test the camper in all conditions: hot, cold, rain, wind, sun, bugs, and vibration of driving. See the DIY camper performance and durability test video for that. And thanks for watching. That is part 2, concludes the camper build video series. I'll be testing this out in the future and doing other things with it, but thanks for watching. Enjoy.